Hi, this is TapCat, and today I want to talk to you about Pokemon Go. That's right, the plague that is currently sweeping first our nation and now the wider world at large. And I, Mr. Strategy Gaming, I downloaded it a few days ago. I tried it, and I am a little bit hooked, I'll be honest. Obviously, it's not a deep game. It's not something that you sink your teeth into the same way you would Civilization or XCOM. What I do enjoy, though, is the kind of treasure hunt aspect. I guess it's a little bit like achievement hunting in games, like especially a bigger game, you know, like World of Warcraft or something where there were 10 million achievements. But with the huge difference that you get those achievements by going out into the world. In this case, not literally achievements, but you would capture more Pokemon. Now, let me just say up front, I have no nostalgia for Pokemon. I've never played it before. I've never played most Nintendo games. I actually never owned a Nintendo console or anything until a couple years ago when I bought the 3DS, primarily for a Zelda game. But at any rate, yeah, so without the benefit of any of that, I still enjoy it. The game certainly has its faults. At least on my phone, it's extremely unstable. It locks up repeatedly and near constantly. And that's one of two things that's probably going to end up driving me away from it. The other is what a time sink it is. I actually like the fact, and one of the reasons that I downloaded it in the first place, I like that it gets you out of the house. I've been pretty unhappy with my overall fitness level for a while now. I kind of go through cycles where I'm very, very good for a while and then not so good. And right now I definitely have been not so good. So, you know, getting out and walking and things like that, that's good for me. And I like that. And something that kind of helps make it more gamey, you know, that encourages you to do it more. That's not a bad thing. At the same time, I've also noticed that, like, if I leave the house and I'm gone for 2 hours, I don't walk nearly as far or burn nearly as many calories as a result as I would if I just walked. You know, you stop and you try to catch a Pokemon, or you stop to screw around with one of the, what are they called, drop points. And in particular, near my house, there's an area that's a kind of a hot spot for the game. There's a bunch of drop points all clustered together, and people drop lures there. And if you don't know what all that nonsense is, it's just a place where you can get a lot of things, basically. So it's very easy to just sit there for an hour or more and collect stuff, collect Pokemon. And, you know, that's not really good exercise. I could be at home playing a much deeper computer game if I was going to do that. But anyway, I just thought it's kind of funny, you know, like, because I do play these pretty thinky games. By the way, for what it's worth, I don't intend to bring Pokemon Go to the channel. I think, other than this video where I talk about it, and I might do, I'll tell you if I somehow either quit or take it to another level. I'm not sure how I would do that. But if something noteworthy happens, then I might talk about it in a future Cat Meows. But other than that, this will be about the extent of my coverage. I will say, you know, if you have any interest in a kind of treasure hunt game, the fact that it's free, I have not spent a penny. You know, you can buy some stuff, but as far as I can tell, you don't need it. And I might buy something later just because I have had fun with the game, and, you know, I've already put enough hours in that I wouldn't mind throwing them a couple of bucks like I would if I bought the game in the first place. But I don't feel like you need to do that. It plays very well. It's definitely not set up the way some free-to-play games are, where it's very clear that what you picked up for free is this completely crippled thing, and it actually becomes playable once you start buying crap out of their store. Okay, before I just ramble on too much more about that, let me think if there's any other real points I want to make about Pokemon Go. Yeah, I guess so. You know, another thing that I have enjoyed about it, and certainly other people have said this too, is it is somewhat of a social experience. I am an introvert by nature. I know that may sound odd coming from somebody who has a YouTube channel, but it's very different speaking into a microphone than it is walking up to a stranger and talking to them. And I don't do that. I don't. And last night, my wife and I, who has now started doing this too, we were at that park I mentioned, and I was talking to a couple of different people. You know, like they happened to be standing or sitting next to me at the time. And, you know, nothing deep, but I do like that. It's nice to have a little bit of social connection with people who are doing the same thing. And, man, there's no shortage of people doing this right now. It is ridiculous. That one park, easily hundreds of people go there. And we're going to go to a particular beach that I think will have a similar kind of setup tonight. And I'm pretty sure it'll be even more crazy there. I mean, this thing is stupid popular. I will be very curious to see how long it lasts, because I feel like I'm already seeing this. The first couple days that I was doing it, there's this kind of constant positive feedback loop, because most of what you find is new to you. And so that's very cool. It's very exciting, right? And then they have a mechanic in the game where even once you find a duplicate, there's a benefit to that as well. It helps you evolve a Pokemon into, you know, a related but higher stage version of that. So finding more of that thing is good. But there's no doubt that what happens is, as you keep finding stuff and you've evolved that particular one as far as it's going to go, then you don't really care about finding more. And what'll happen is that there will be fewer and fewer that you find that you want. And the ones that you still need will be increasingly rare, so the odds of you seeing the doggone thing are going to be really poor. Now, I know they're going to do updates, and the question, I guess, is whether they can do that fast enough to keep people hooked. But I think for me, this is going to be a pretty short-lived thing. I get a kick out of it, and I'm going to do it until I feel like I'm tired of it or it's interfering. Like, I probably would have started recording the next XCOM 2 series a couple of days ago, because as an aside, I have finished recording the one that's going up now. It'll just be a couple weeks until you see the end of it. But you know, like, I can't let this get in the way. The channel means a lot more to me than Pokemon Go. And it's important to me to start this next XCOM 2 series, because I want to make sure it finishes before Civilization 6 comes out. That releases October 21st. And my goal, very simply, is I want, you know, an episode, part one of a series, a Let's Play, coming out that day, you know, as fast as I can possibly do it. So anyway, I guess that's it. So for what it's worth, I guess I give it at least one thumb up. It is certainly not a deep game. I would actually say it's more of an activity than a game, to be honest. And I don't even mean that as a slight, because it's a fun activity. I've gotten a kick out of it. You know, I've enjoyed it. I think my wife is enjoying it so far. So, you know, it's a fun, enjoyable thing to do, and it's free. Gets you out of the house for a while. Just don't walk off any cliffs or follow people down dark alleys while you play, and you know, you'll be okay. And don't do it while you drive. That's one thing my wife did last night that I got on her about. We were crossing the street, and while we were crossing, she fooled around, you know, catching a Pokemon. And I was like, yeah, do not get in that habit. You're going to start zoning out at a time when you need to be aware of what's going on around you. And somebody could die, and it might not be you. It could be somebody swerving to avoid you or something. And just imagine if you got to live with that on your conscience because you were playing some stupid game and got so absorbed in it that, you caused somebody to be seriously hurt or even killed. No thanks, man. All right, well, on that rather sobering note, I will wrap this up. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time.